Mm. Good morning, family and sis.
Good morning, sis and family.
Yeah.
Good morning. Well, we're
This
on
morning.
lesson
Yeah.
number 298, and I'll be reading it today.
Thank you.
Lesson 298. I'm just feeling into it, guys. So join me, please, here. Join us here. Regardless of what appears to be occurring in our mind and in our immediate surroundings, this is true. Lesson 298. So it's really a call to come into alignment with the truth in this lesson. Regardless of whatever distractions the ego is throwing at us, they're not real. I love you, Father, and I love your Son. I love you, Father, and I love your Son. Just to clarify, that means the entire sonship. I love your Son, including yourself. I love you, Father, and I love your Son, your holy self. My gratitude permits my love to be accepted without fear. And thus am I restored to my reality at last. All that intruded on my holy sight, for instance, the body identity and its 5 physical senses, forgiveness takes away. And I draw near the end of senseless journeys, mad careers, and artificial values. I accept instead what God establishes as mine, sure that in that alone I will be saved. Sure that I go through fear, in other words, the stages of undoing mythical me, to meet my love. Father, I come to you today because I would not follow any way but yours. You are beside me. Certain is your way. And I am grateful for your holy gifts of certain sanctuary and escape from everything that would obscure my love for God, my Father, and his holy Son. Amen.
Amen.
I love you, Father, and I love your Son. Are you having any feelings about that, sis?
Well, I'm feeling the gratitude right now of knowing that what we are, the absolute truth, God's certainty is certain because what we are is love. I'm recognizing that only God's plan for salvation is the one that we can accept through fear. I mean, there's a definite pathway that we have to follow, but I can follow that with gratitude, knowing that it is our holy self that I'm coming to, and then that is love.
And you still have the gratitude, which is wonderful because that is the love.
Yes.
Yeah. And that also helps to eradicate the fear in that. But like you said, there is a passing through of the circle of fear. But
Right.
it's not us that's fearful. It's not the holy self that we share.
No. And there's something about to be able to be grateful and also feel the fear proves that our right mind knows the truth about of which we're speaking. You know, we're really calling to ourself to awaken, to unify. Yeah. We do love God and we do love his son.
You know, one instant of gratitude restores the entire universe to us. Yeah. So thank you. Gratitude for this purification process, which can feel like shit times a million. Yeah. But it's, why would we delay it?
Yeah, thank God for contrast learning.
I don't think you could do it without the contrast learning, because you don't really know what fear is, what constitutes fear, until you've actually had the love with a capital L. Is love, the taste of perfect love. And then you know that the fake love or fake friendships or fake being, the fake me, you know how painful it is. You see it. And then you're ready to actually really enter the purification process.
Right. Yeah, you have to really feel how hateful, how fearful is the ego thought system. We have to go through fear. We can't do a bypass around it. Jesus does state in the Course that you need to look upon your fear, your hatred, with the light of the Holy Spirit, just to be radically honest with, what am I consenting to while I still think this world holds something that I want? What am I supporting while I still identify as a mythical me apart from God? And upon seeing that love, the ego's love is fear, right? And the things that we call joy here are so fleeting, and everything changes and nothing can be accomplished. It's really gross, but we need to look upon it and then have the gratitude that because we saw it, then we make a firm commitment that I don't want to support this anymore now that I know what it is. Now that I remember what this is, I'm not going to lend it my support. I'm not going to agree to the illusions. I'm not going to attack my brother and see him as separate, or myself as a body, right? This is just giving our heart back to God, who loves us with the real love that's changeless. That's what's happening.
Yeah. And it's, from my experience, I've noticed there was tremendous resistance before to true forgiveness, you know, with particular people, and with myself in the end there as well. The dropping of judgment, including self-judgment, self-condemnation. And what I'm feeling and seeing and knowing now as compared to then, and I'm talking recently, just 2 years ago, What I'm seeing now is that I want to forgive.
Yeah.
Like in most cases, I'm rushing to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not rejecting it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not defending against the forgiveness anymore. There's a gentle, magnetic quality about forgiveness that I recognize in it is my salvation,
Mm-hmm.
is the memory of my sinlessness, my incorruptible innocence, my holiness, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I cannot afford to hold any judgment at all against any brother,
Right.
including myself.
That's the biggie.
Or, I mean, you know this, sis, because
Mm-hmm.
you know
Yeah.
you're going through it too. Is it's it kind of gets easier to forgive others as we go through one of those first eyes of the needle.
Mm-hmm.
But the ego is just turning that judgment from the exterior world, what seems like exterior world, to the interior one, which
Mm-hmm.
is to condemn ourselves. So it just turns it within. It's still condemnation of the Son of God. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
no difference. We really need to make that. There's no difference. You can't forgive everybody else and then still crucify yourself because that is the sonship. There's just one. And that is so big. But that's the last holdout. There's this, am I willing to see myself as completely innocent, to accept that I'm as God created me and nothing else, which means complete forgiveness of the past, complete forgiveness of the I know mind, complete forgiveness of an autonomous or independent, doer. I mean, surrendering goals in the world, like really just, and it sounds terrible if you're still ego identified, but again, what we were just talking about, we have to see how fraught that ego thought system is with, hatred and fury and fear and guilt. The wish for death is in that thought system. So looking at it honestly and then saying, I don't want that. And then going, okay, so all my self concepts must be forgiven. And there's such if we are afraid of awakening, the way it holds out is, well, you're not worthy of awakening, right? I'm ashamed of what I think that I am. It's going to come out with every single thing it has because you are now the last stop in having complete forgiveness. And so I'm finding that I'm there just to be just keep coming back and being still, making that invitation to allow our shared right mind to make the correction, not doing anything, not even trying, don't save yourself. It's just letting Holy Spirit make the correction with gratitude. Mm-hmm.
because the self we're still trying to save is the ego.
Doesn't exist. Just does not exist.
So good.
Yes.
I'll see you on the other side.
Yes. Yep. We're trading nothing for everything.
Everything.
Jesus says that too. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we hope that's helpful, and we haven't increased fear. That's something that Coreen and I don't want to do, which is to increase fear. And yet at the same time, we do need to speak truth. And I think Jesus does it beautifully in the Course.
Mm-hmm.
He speaks truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, it depends on who's receiving that truth, because, obviously, if what Jesus says does increase fear,
Mm-hmm.
then it's the ego that is receiving or perceiving, I should say, the truth. It's not receiving it, it's perceiving it as a threat.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like trying to offer a child, they think that they want something so bad, and the parent has something so much better. And it's saying, but you have to release that first. And the child balks and argues and fights because they think this is the best that they know. This is the best that they know. Don't take this from me, right?
Yeah, a sharp scalpel.
Yes. Or a pair of scissors. You shouldn't be running with scissors. Yes. And so the parent, through contrast learning, we come to understand that what is being offered to us, we lose nothing, we surrender illusions, and we gain reality, which is changeless and eternal. But this is a process, so be gentle with yourself. Yes, we're not here to increase your fear, but we have to paint an honest picture of what this process is.
Yes.
Yeah.
It-
Okay.
Okay. Well, sis, thank you so much. That's lesson 298. Yeah.
Yes.
98. I love you, Father, and I love your Son.
Yes. He's so lovable. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for the next one.
Thank you.